Daron Bland. Hey, are you are you guys subscribed to the Cowboy Cast here on YouTube? There's a button right there. I believe it's actually under Harvey. Just hit the subscribe button. Come on, guys.
And most of all, share, baby. Share.
Oh, turn on the notifications because we go live a lot. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
I believe we are not live today, but we definitely want to put out some great content for you guys. We're going to be talking about Daron Bland. We've been breaking down each player selection from Cowboys draft class last year, and they had a great draft class. Almost everybody was a contributor. I know there's going to be a player that's going to come along that we had to cut ties with, but we're talking about a very interesting prospect, and we're talking about Daron Bland. So, I mean, Harv, first impressions, I guess, looking back and looking at hindsight, what are your overall thoughts about Daron Bland?
Um, I think the biggest thing for me, just watching him in training camp, was he didn't get very grabby like most rookies do. Because most rookies, they would just want to grab everything. He really didn't do that much, but he stuck with, kind of shadowed the guy that he was always going with very well, man. Sometimes, these receivers in the slot, they're real quick and fast, and they can get away from you. And it seemed like it didn't happen to him that very often in training camp. And so, man, I was like, you know what? This dude's going to be the future, and he's going to be a starter for us. But unfortunately, I think he got hurt. So we didn't really get to see him until later on in the year. And you can tell, man, just being a Cowboys fan, watching Jordan Lewis, no offense to Jordan Lewis, and then you see this guy play and the turnovers start happening. That is the biggest thing that jumps out. You're like, this guy is around the ball no matter where he's at. So I think those are the biggest things that stick out for me.
And like you said, I think he only played I think he missed 5 games,
Yeah.
right? It was a
So yeah, so it was a total of 12 games that he played total.
and and if you
In the
look at it,
in the regular season.
yeah, we're talking regular season because he did have a great preseason.
Yep.
But just looking back at it, everybody was on Tyreek Woolen. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Tyreek Woolen from the Seattle Seahawks, that corner, he looks like a nice corner. And I mean, we know him because he's UTSA, you know what I'm saying? San Antonio boy, Texas boy, 6'4", ran a 4.2, what was it, a 4.28 in the 40.
Yep.
But obviously, it just the way the draft fell. Deron Bland was there, and the Cowboys selected him. Actually, up until the draft, his name wasn't getting thrown around much,
It wasn't.
if at all.
Not
He's
really.
out of Fresno State, right?
Yep.
So let's go through his scouting report, and then we can kind of get a little bit more into the actual game. Because the one thing I did want to say was everybody was talking about Tyreek Woolen being defensive player of the year because of his. I think he had 6 interceptions, but
Yep.
Deron Bland at half. I mean, with almost coming into half the season matched that. I think he had 5 interceptions, right?
Yep.
Deron Bland just looks like a ball magnet, and he looks like he's a real fighter for the ball. But let's look at his scouting report, right? He's listed at 6 foot, a 6'1" corner, 203 pounds. His hand size 9 and 1/8. Arm is 32 inches and 32 and 2/8. Wingspan, it says here 7'6", 7'8". On that one, I guess that's a little bit of I don't know. But anyways, this is a Deron Bland, right? Fresno State Bulldog, one liner, long arm cornerback with good speed. Bland is a segmented mover who lacks short area explosiveness. I mean, did you see the short
Nope.
area explosiveness missing
No.
from his game?
I did not. I did not.
I will say this: the long arms that was very evident, especially with
Oh
some of those
yeah.
interceptions. Those interceptions, like he was able to jump, and just the way he caught it, his arms, you could see how long his arms, especially with 2 different interceptions and 2 different games. You know where I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I mean, it's okay because, like I said, nobody really knew about him. But here's what they say about his pros: long arm outside cornerback who possesses good speed, allowing him to carry receivers vertically without getting grabby. Bland uses his length to disrupt receivers trying to cross his face. He has very good mirroring skills on a vertical plane, possessing good eyes and having the ability to stop and stick and curls and comebacks. His recovery speed is above average. Bland can make plays on the ball from behind thanks to his length and disrupts catches from unfavorable positions. He plays through the catch, displaying his competitiveness. Bland is willing to take on blockers with good effort and fights hard to gain outside leverage. His mental alertness is very good as he can avoid picks. Damn, that sounds like Daron Bland, Daron Bland right there. But it's kind of it is a little bit. There is some things that are very clear, right? As far as you know, he was able to make some
He
remarkable plays. Harp.
and he was, and if you can tell, if you look at Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis's tape, right? You know what I hate about them sometimes? They never turn around for the ball.
Ooh, good
That is
point.
that
Great
that
point.
is such a negative for me. I hate that. Why don't you do that? If you're carrying that guy and you got your hand on his hip and you're not turning around looking for the ball, you're more than likely you're going to get a pass interference. And Deron Bland is very good at that. And that's what I saw early on in training camp. Every time he kind of trailed somebody, he put his hand on their hip and he would turn for the ball and then play the ball. So I knew he was going to be good, but unfortunately, like I keep saying, he got hurt. He didn't play till later on in the year. But you could tell, man, that he does carry receivers very well, and he likes to turn to the ball early to see where the ball is going to be at and track the ball down. So that's what I really like about him most of all. That just watching the tape and going in between Brown and Jordan Lewis and the way they do things. I think that stands out from all those three.
I mean, I love what you said, right? I mean, it's kind of hard, but I will tell you this: it doesn't feel like he's a baiter. If that makes any sense, like
Mm-mm.
it just looks like
Yeah.
he's very alert. He's
Yep.
very alert, like he knows exactly. There's something that there is something that he understands, and the thing is that he obviously understands. I think if anything, he understands what wide receivers are trying to do. So this is his cons right here. So obviously there people are gonna give you pros and cons. Only having 1 year of starting experience at the Mountain West level. So
And
I mean,
and you know
they
what
did
it
they did say that he gets a little grabby, but we really didn't see the grabbiness,
no.
and that he has tight hips. So those were the actual cons for Deron Bland. But what were you gonna say?
But but if you think about it, right? And somebody put something out. I think I want to say it was Walt from Detroit Avenue. Is that I think pretty sure that's the name, Detroit Ave, which is funny and it kind of touched me, right? And I said, you know what? He said these offensive, you know, players and teams in college, when they play these defenses, are these defensive schemes not that good to where they don't play the strength of their players? And these schemes are
Mm,
kind of weird, right, in college. So that just goes to show that you got to think, man, was he being put in the right spot at the right time at the right place?
good question.
And so that plays a big factor because you got to think the guy didn't start very much, but he just went into the league and played like he's a Pro Bowler, in my opinion.
You did. You
How
absolutely
does that happen? Well, at the end of the day, maybe they're not using him right. And who I give credit to and doesn't get very much credit is Al Harris. Al Harris is a tremendous player, man. And the way he would turn with receivers and kind of track the ball and then push them out to the bounds and use the boundary as help. So, you know, it all comes down to coaching, honestly. That's what it comes down to.
you're absolutely right. I think Dan Quinn is actually a leader of men, and like you said, a very good coach. And he takes his time with each player to make sure that they're in the right positions. This is what the summary was for him. Outside cornerback with long arms and good speed. Bland is able to mirror on vertical plane and use his length to disrupt catches. He has stiff hips and lacks desired short area agility and explosiveness to consistently succeed in man coverage. It says Bland projects as a developmental cornerback in a scheme that asks him to cover deep thirds and quarters frequently with improved tackling. He should be a solid special teamer with potential to be a solid backup or low level starter. So, you know, this is the hard part about scouting, right? I mean, we all can see things, right? And sometimes, I've been guilty myself. I'll put on maybe just 2 games and I'll just watch those 2 games of the player and I'll be like, you know what, I didn't really see it. But you got to be fair. You got to go back, find as much tape as possible. If in those two you haven't got the what I'm saying, the a great feel for the player, you should maybe watch from what I learned at the scouting academy was watch 5, watch 6 games, get the full awareness. But I will tell you this, I mean, from that, my biggest question to you is, and we know when he took over the slot position, he was an absolute ball hawk. My question is, we should be getting Jordan Lewis back, but do you think the Cowboys are going to keep Jordan Lewis, or what do you think, man? I mean, or
I,
should they try him at the outside? Because I don't know. I'm kind of cornerbacks a tough job, man. And I think a lot of the cornerbacks play is not only technique, and of course, technique, and of course your talent. I think a lot of it has to be confidence too. And if you put him somewhere and he gets burnt a couple times, the confidence kind of comes down. What do you think, Harp?
as of right now, I don't know what the plan is, but for me, Jordan Lewis does come back, and we'll see how that goes with the injury.
Okay.
But I think Bland beat him out
Damn.
outright. Like I don't think it's even up for discussion. I don't think. At least for me, it's not. It's not up for discussion. It really isn't. Now the question is, since they do have Jordan Lewis, do they put Bland on the outside and then let Jordan in the middle,
Because
or do they?
Jordan he has been playing slot for what, 4 seasons now?
Yeah. So I mean, or does Jordan go or Jordan Lewis go out to the? I mean, you can either way. It doesn't matter because I think Bland can play both. For me, I just think right now he's better in the slot from what we see. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. Jordan Lewis might be out the door depending on what we do in this draft. Because
Man,
I think I want to say if we lose him, I think we save like 6 million.
yes.
So
That's what I'm
that
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, and Izzy stepped in. Remember Israel
yep.
Makuma? He was playing safety, and they brought him down to corner and specifically slot corner too.
So this
And
so this is the thing about that though, Jerry. Izzy can play safety. Izzy can play outside. Izzy can
yes,
play
again,
inside.
you can.
The name of the game is versatility. I don't know if
I'm
Jordan Lewis
excited.
can do all those things.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm excited about this defense. I mean, we obviously, I hope the Cowboys could just find a good settlement for Trayvon Diggs, because I'll tell you this: anytime your your backfield can have a ball hawks like the way the Cowboys have right now, it makes you feel very confident coming into the season. And our defense is really strong. It's the strongest point of the entire team.
Yep.
The offense is not far from it, right? So obviously we know, and we're going to get closer and closer. That's why we say you need to subscribe to the channel, because we're going to start, getting really in depth with these players, understand who they are, right? And then we're going to study each team and make sure we see exactly, okay, what's the strongest point. Maybe this is the actual round for a player to be locked up. But I do think that, man, adding another corner just for that safe, just to not for a replacement purpose, but more so for depth, and somebody maybe opposite of Trayvon and right next to Daron Bland. I think that is something the Cowboys are going to be doing this offseason. So we'll see about that. But there you go in a nutshell. Daron Bland, a fifth pick of what is it? A fifth round ball hawk. That's what I like to call him. Anything to add to that, Harv?
No, man, I think I think he was a saving grace for this season, to be honest. I think he really was, man. And I think Dallas values that, and I think they're looking forward. You're probably going to see another corner taken off the board for that reason.
I think you're absolutely right on that. Hey, but let us know in the comment section below. Leave your comments, man. Let us know how you feel. What do you think of Daron Bland? Should he play outside? Should he stay at the slot? Do you think the Cowboys should draft? And make sure you subscribe. Help us grow this channel, man. The road to 1,000, man. We need you guys'
Let's
help.
go.
Subscribe, share, and turn on that notification. Let you know when we go live. So we'll see you guys on our next live. Thank you for tuning in.
Keep it real.